Once upon a time, in a vast kingdom nestled between mountains and seas, there lived a wise and noble king named Arion. King Arion had everything a ruler could wish for: wealth, power, and most importantly, a loving family. He had 10 sons and one beautiful daughter, Elena, whom he adored dearly. Their mother, Queen Livia, passed away when Elena was born, leaving the king heartbroken but determined to raise his children with love and care. The royal children grew up in harmony, full of joy, laughter, and kindness. They were inseparable, and the kingdom flourished under their father's reign. But as years passed, the king's loneliness grew unbearable, and one day, he fell in love with a mysterious woman named Selene. She was a breathtaking beauty, but there was something cold and sinister in her eyes. The king, blinded by love, married Selene, making her the new queen. In the beginning, everything seemed perfect, but soon her true nature was revealed. Queen Selene was not only vain and jealous, but she harbored a deep hatred for the king's 10 sons, for they reminded her of the family she would never truly belong to. In her heart, she desired to rid herself of the king's sons so that her own children, should she have any, could rule the kingdom alone. Selene's bitterness grew with each passing day. She despised the bond the brothers shared, and in her jealousy, she hatched a wicked plan. She began whispering poisonous words into the king's ears, sowing seeds of doubt about his sons. The king, whose love for his new queen clouded his judgment, grew distant from his sons. One fateful day, after weeks of manipulation, Queen Selene convinced the king that his sons were plotting against him. Heartbroken, but unable to see the truth, the king ordered his sons to leave the castle. With tears in his eyes, he watched as they were led out beyond the city walls, where Queen Selene awaited them. Outside the city, Selene revealed her true powers. She was not just a jealous woman, but a sorceress skilled in dark magic. She raised her hands and spoke an incantation. In an instant, the 10 brothers were transformed into 10 majestic white swans with golden feathers and emerald eyes. "Fly away to a far-off land," she sneered. "Make your home in the trees and live forever as birds, never to see your father again." The 10 brothers, now swans, flapped their wings in despair and flew away, far beyond the mountains and the rivers, to a distant land by a great sea. They built their nest high in the trees, where they would live out their days, cursed to remain swans unless the spell was broken. Back at the castle, Elena, the king's only daughter, felt the weight of her brother's absence. She was devastated when she learned the truth about their transformation. With no time to waste, Elena packed a small bundle of food and water and fled the castle, determined to find her brothers and save them from the cruel spell. She traveled for days, following her heart and the faint trail of magic that led her toward the great sea. Elena's journey was long and perilous. She walked through dense forests, climbed treacherous mountains, and crossed rivers. Her love for her brothers guided her, even when she could no longer see the path ahead. After many days of travel, Elena finally reached the edge of the sea. Exhausted and weary, she collapsed beneath a large oak tree and fell into a deep sleep. That night, a group of fairies watched over her, ensuring no harm came to the brave princess. The next morning, Elena awoke and continued her journey until she met an old woman by the riverside. "What brings you here, child?" the old woman asked kindly. "Do you seek someone?" "I am looking for my 10 brothers," Elena replied. "They were cursed and turned into swans. Have you seen any such birds?" The old woman nodded thoughtfully. "I saw 10 white swans with golden feathers and emerald eyes flying toward the great sea not far from here. They made their home in the trees nearby." Grateful for the information, Elena thanked the woman and followed the river until she reached the sea. There, she saw the 10 swans resting in the branches of a tall tree. Elena's heart leaped with joy, but she knew their reunion would be short-lived unless she could break the curse. That night, as the swans flew down to meet her, Elena did not speak. Instead, she embraced them, her eyes filled with tears. Her brothers, though unable to speak in human form, understood her pain. The next night, Alina had a dream. In the dream, a fairy appeared before her and said, "If you wish to save your brothers, you must weave 10 shirts out of golden flowers that grow near your home by the sea. But beware, you must not speak a word until all 10 shirts are complete, or the curse will be sealed forever." Determined to save her brothers, Elena began her silent work the next day. She gathered the golden flowers and worked tirelessly, weaving the delicate threads into shirts. Her fingers bled, her body ached, but she did not give up. Each night, her brothers flew down to watch her progress, and though they longed to hear her voice, they knew why she remained silent. Weeks passed, and Elena had completed 9 of the 10 shirts. But just as she was nearing the end of her task, the king of a neighboring land, a noble and kind man, discovered Alina while hunting in the forest. He was captivated by her beauty and grace, and though she could not speak, he fell in love with her. He asked her to return to his castle and be his queen. Though Alina loved the king, she could not leave until her task was complete. With her heart heavy, she silently agreed to go with him, taking the unfinished shirts with her. The king's court was suspicious of the silent woman he had brought home. His jealous younger brother, who desired the throne, began to spread rumors that Alina was a witch who practiced dark magic. As days passed, these rumors grew, and soon, the court demanded Alina's execution. On the day of her trial, Alina had just finished the 10th shirt. As she was led to the town square, she held the golden shirts in her arms. Just as the flames were about to be lit, her 10 brothers, still swans, flew down from the sky, circling the square. Without a word, Alina threw the shirts over her brothers, and in a flash of golden light, the swans were transformed back into their human forms. The king arrived just in time to witness the miracle, and his heart filled with love for the woman who had sacrificed so much. He banished his treacherous brother and made Alina his queen. Alina and her brothers were finally free, and they lived happily ever after in the Enchanted Kingdom, where love and loyalty triumphed over envy and evil.